Exposing Nerd Parade for cheating. What a fucking surprise. Video taken down.
Here's a fun fact about Nick or Nerd Parade. Just a few months ago, he quit his job to become a full-time ARK YouTuber. Now keep in mind that Nick has actually reached over 200,000 subscribers. I know, it's surprising, right? Well, let's take a look and see how he compares to other ARK YouTubers that are in the PvP community, even people who have less subscribers than him. So we have Kishko, who actually doesn't really upload anymore and only uploads about 6 videos a month. We also have Hod, who still doesn't upload every single day. Then we have Uncle Apex, and then we have Nerd Parade, who has 200,000 subscribers, uploads every single day, and majority of his videos don't even come close to any of the other YouTubers that I put on screen. Now Nick, in your response video, you will probably try to use the argument that I made this video for views, like you already said in your Discord. Let me just tell you Nick, if I was doing this for views, you would be the worst YouTuber to make an exposed video on. Now the first thing that I want to get started on is how Nick falsely copyright strikes smaller YouTubers' videos that either completely expose him with full proof and not slander his name, or even just simply paint him in a negative light. Now what I'm going to put on screen is a direct email between Nick and iCreepy. A huge shout out to iCreepy for providing me this. The one thing is that iCreepy's message is going to be first, and for some reason it was cut off the top. I'm not exactly sure why he did it. You guys could make up a conspiracy and say he was trying to hide something. I bet if you asked him to provide the full screenshot, he probably could, but for the time's sake, I do not have time to do that right now. Anyway, he starts off by saying, claim it because I used it in fair use, I exposed your channel and all that, but all I did is show the truth, but through the whole video, I keep on saying go subscribe to Nick, and that I like you and I am telling people to not hate on you in any way, so please remove the copyright strike. Thank you. Now Nick's response to this was a lot longer, so I'm going to try and sum it up a tiny bit. Now I highly encourage you guys to pause the video right now and read this whole thing for yourself, because all I'm going to say is a TLDR, which is too long, didn't read. What he's saying is that iCreepy used him as a target to grow his channel. He considers this very insulting. He's worked very hard to grow the Nerd Parade channel, and although iCreepy told people to not go hate on Nick, they still did. He finishes off by saying the damage has already been done and I will be moving on from this incident. Now you guys might be wondering, did he remove the copyright strike from iCreepy, which was falsely placed? And the answer to that is no, Nick didn't. Now for this video, I'm going to be putting watermarks or just anything on top of any images which Nerd Parade or Nick could use to bring this video down. But what I highly encourage all of you guys to do is right now, please download this video as soon as you're seeing it and re-upload it to YouTube with the same title, the same description, and even the same tags if you guys want to. I don't mind if you profit off this video, put advertisements on it, or even promote your own social media, but all I want is that you guys to re-upload this video in case Nerd Parade or Nick finds any way to falsely copyright strike my video, so that this message will always be out there for anybody to hear. Now let's get into the very juicy part where Nick lies about a lot of financial things with the server, donations, and things like that. Now Nick started off his Xbox servers by streaming it on July 11th. Now during this live stream at about 23 minutes in, he says that all of the money during that stream will be going towards the servers, upgrading the servers, expanding the servers, and doing everything like that.
Thank you so much I'm glad I broke your bits, Cherry. Thank you so much for allowing me to break your bits, Cherry. Greatly appreciated. It's going to a good cause so we can expand these servers beyond their capacity. Hunter, my dude, has just dropped $500 on us for the servers. His request is Aberration. Hunter, your wish be my command. I will get that for you.
Now keep in mind that bits and super chats donated to Nick through either YouTube or Twitch do not affect the donation goal, and this is also verified by Streamlabs. So if anybody donated any money to him through YouTube or Twitch, which is bits or the super chat, that money was not added in to the donation goal. Meaning he most likely, or he actually did receive more money than we are actually calculating here, this is only the money that was donated to him through Streamlabs. Now the total amount that he made only through Streamlabs, not including any of the other sources of donations that were definitely used during this live stream, totaled out to be $630.15. That does not include the PayPal fees or anything else that might have been charged, including taxes. But like I said, he still did receive more money through either bits and also super chats or sponsorships on YouTube. And no, I'm not talking about company sponsorships, I'm talking about sponsorships during a live stream. So the first server Nick put up was an island server with 50 slots. Then later that night, Nick also put up another center server with 70 slots. Now when these servers went up for the first few days, these servers were capped endlessly. Like, I mean, the center actually got over 100 people and the cap was literally 70. It was insane. It was so hard for people to join and so many people wanted to join that during the Discord, so many people were rioting and wanting more and more servers to get up. Now Nick's response to this was that more support will generate more servers and allow for more servers to come up. But the thing is that Nick just received over $600 during his live stream where he said all of the money was going towards the servers, and yet he was still asking for more support from his fans. At this current moment, Nick has spent a total of $128.48 on both the center and the island servers, the island being at 50 players and the center being at 70. Now still, before even putting up another server apart from the two that he currently has running, he's still advertising in his Discord saying that more support via PayPal donations will bring up more servers, although he already received over $600. Now keep in mind, he still only has the two servers up, and I'm just scrolling down the Discord so that you guys can kind of understand how the timeline goes. Basically, I started from the very beginning of the Discord, and I'm just scrolling down and highlighting every single message that will pinpoint exactly the message that I'm trying to get out. So this message says the goals are in this order: AB today. So he's basically saying that he's trying to get the AB server to go public today, and he already purchased it, but he's currently working on it. He also says that he wants to get the island from 50 slots to 70 slots, which would be another $74 to upgrade it. And then he says for RAG to come out, it needs quite a bit more of funding, and he wants to also get Scorched Earths out, and then he wants to cluster all of the servers together. Now for him to put out a Ragnarok server, it would either cost $74.49 or $53.99, depending upon if you went with 70 players or 50 players. Now this continues to back up the statement where Nick is requesting more money when he hasn't even spent all of the money that's been donated to him so far. J Carr says, do you know when the RAG server will come out? One of the mods replies and says, not currently, it needs more funding. Now keep in mind, he's raised over $600 and he hasn't even used about 200 of it yet. And then if we actually scroll down just a tad bit further, Anonymous Tiston says, I swear somebody donated a ton of money last night. And then J Carr J Can says, yeah, they donated 500, which then another one of the mods called Loki Bay replied to him and said that went towards center and AB. So he's saying that $500 went towards the center and aberration map, which makes it very confusing because why would $500 only go towards two maps? If both of those maps you want to get them for 70 slots, they would still only cost around $150, 74 plus 74, however much money that would equal. It wouldn't equal $500, which makes this whole entire thing extremely confusing. Later in the night, Nick says more donation means more servers. The next goal after AB is a RAG. So still continuing to ask for more donations when he hasn't used up all of the money he's received yet. Then just a few minutes later, he says the donations applied so far have bought us 2 full months of center, island, and AB. He then goes on to say that island will be getting a 70 slot upgrade soon. Now that many things have changed, let's add up all of the servers and figure out how much money he's actually spent and how much money he still has extra left over from the first day's donations. So let's start by adding the first 2 servers that Nerd Parade put up, which was the island and the center server. Now the island being only a 50 slot server, never changed to a 70 slot server. That means that this server has only ever costed Nick a total of $53.99. Then what we'll do is we'll also add that to the center server, which was $74.49 because it was a 70 slot server. The total you get for that is $128.48 for only the island and the center server. Now what we'll do is we'll multiply this by 2 and figure out how much the island and only the center server cost for just 2 months. So the center and the island server server costs a total of $256.96. Now let's go ahead and add Aberration into the servers as well. So when Nerd Parade first purchased an Aberration server, it was $53.99 because it was a 50 slot server, which was then later upgraded to a 70 slot server. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the $53 and we're also going to add the $74.49 into there as well. Now that total comes out to $385.44. Now if you guys don't know how Nitrado works, let me explain this real quick. If you purchase a Nitrado server, and let's just say that you bought a 50 slot server, then you want to upgrade it to 70 slots, let's just say after a day. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to pay another $74.49 because that's how much it costs for a 70 slot server. Then Nitrado will add the time from your 70 slot server and your 50 slot server, and it will add it together. So let's just say that you did it on the same day. It will equal 60 days of a 70 slot server because the time transfers over when you upgrade your server. So real quick, what I'd like to do is I would like to recap on a message that's going to be brought up a little bit further along in this discussion, and I would just like to emphasize a few things about this with you guys. So the message that I'm talking about is when Nick put in the Discord that the donations applied so far have bought us 2 full months of the Center, Island, and Ab. Now I'm going to give you guys the exact definitions for the word applied and bought so that if you guys are not maybe familiar with the words, or maybe you guys think you know what the word means, I'm going to give you the actual definition. So applied means put to practical use as opposed to being theoretical. So that means that applied chemistry is one of the examples for this word. So if I was to say apply $50 to my rent, that means that I've paid $50 to my rent. Now the definition of bought is past and past participle of buy. So let's just say I went to the store and I buy an apple. I would say that I bought that apple. So with knowing the definition of both of these words, that would mean that the donations applied so far have bought us 2 full months of the Center, Island, and Ab. Now when you hear this sentence, I first think that the servers are all currently have 60 total days purchased on all of them. Now please, if this sentence makes you guys think anything differently apart from the servers now having 60 total days on them, please comment down below and tell me what this sentence makes you think, because taking it in the literal meaning and how he says it, that's exactly what it means, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Now the sentence isn't super important right now, but you guys will see why I brought this up a little bit later. So the next big thing that happened was on July 11th, and that's when the Ragnarok server was released. Nerd Parade put in Discord saying Nerd Parade Rag server going live and cross-server transfer has been enabled. Now keep in mind that the Rag server was a 70 slot server, so that server costed $74.49. Now Nick never specified that he has 2 months of time on the server, so all we're going to do is add $74.49 onto the amount of money already spent on the server, and what we get from that is $459.93. Still, we're less than the amount of money he made, which was over $600. Now nothing more really happened until a few weeks later on July 26. Nick wrote an extremely long message and posted in the Discord basically talking about how a select tribe actually got incited, and in result of an admin actually trying to help them or figure out what the situation was, the tribe actually charged back all of their money that they donated on Nick. Now Nick never says how much money was charged back, but he does say that the PayPal fees from all the chargeback resulted in him being in a very bad financial issue. The one thing that I would like to point out is that he says the servers will stay online for as long as the community uses the booster codes linked above. No more funds will be contributed by me. Now the thing is that even after using all of the money to run every single server, excluding the Ragnarok server, for 2 months, you're not even over $500 yet, and you actually made over $600 during the live stream. So Nick literally never needed to contribute any of his money because the donations paid for every single one of the servers, excluding the Ragnarok, for 2 months. Even if we added Ragnarok for 2 months in, it would still be less than $600. Now a little bit later in the big paragraphs that he wrote, he says, as of this moment, the servers are just shy of $400 per month to run the cluster. This will be changing as I downgrade the servers to a more reasonable price range. Now, once again, this is also a complete lie. The servers only exceeded $400 when we actually ran the servers for 2 months. Let's do the math for how much the cluster actually cost for 1 month. Now, Nick had an island server, which was 50 slots. He had an aberration server which was upgraded to 70 slots. He had a center with 70 slots, and he also had a Ragnarok with 70 slots. Now, to run all 3 servers with 70 slots and the 150 slot server, the total comes out to only $277.46. But we have to give Nick the benefit of the doubt because he actually did pay an additional $53.99 because his original aberration server was only 50 slots. So that will last for 2 months, but let's just see how much money he actually had to pay that month. With the added $53.99, Nick still only paid $331.45. Now, I'm not exactly sure what you guys would call just shy of $400 per month, but realistically, these servers don't even cost over $300 per month to run. They only costed a little bit over $300 because Nick upgraded from 50 to 70, and now that server has 2 months of time on it. So not only does Nick lie about how much it actually costs to run per month, he also says that no more funds will be contributed by him, but he raised over $600, and yet he still mentions that he pays out of pocket for the servers. Now, after posting the information about the chargebacks, Nick then posted a screenshot of the Nitrado dashboard which showed all of his servers and how much time they all had left. The island having 7 days left, the center having 12 days left, the Ragnarok having 13 days left, and the aberration having 44 days left. Now, I'm not sure what you guys are thinking, but as soon as I saw this, something went off my head which just said this seems very suspicious and very fishy. That's when I looked for a few different quotes from Nick earlier in the month which I knew would sort of paint an argument which I was thinking about as soon as I saw this post. Here's the first one where Nick says, yes, all donations are going to the server. We have 2 months of uptime at the moment on the current ones. Then here's the one that I read to you guys earlier and said that this would come up a little bit further in the video. The donations applied so far have bought us 2 full months of the center, island, and ab. So you guys might be saying, well, why does aberration have only 2 months on it when all of the other servers should have 2 months on it as well, apart from Ragnarok? Well, that's exactly what I was wondering, and when I tried to ask Nick this, he continuously dodged my question. One of the first replies I actually received from Nick was, Monster, that quote was before Rag was bought. And yes, Nick, that quote was before Rag was bought, but the quote literally says that the donations applied have bought 2 months, aka 60 days of server uptime. You didn't say anywhere that you were storing this money or keeping this money for a side and then eventually once you had to renew the servers you would renew them. What you literally said is that the money currently bought 2 months worth of time, but yet all you bought was aberration for 2 months. And then he says, adding Rag was not free. The math is there. Yes, Nick, the math is there, and I've done it all through this video. I highly recommend you go back in the video just a couple minutes ago and you will see the math is clearly there. Nick also says, then things changed once we purchased a Rag server. Are you seeing where English is failing here? Remember when I put the definition of both of the words earlier in the video? English actually isn't failing. Nick is actually just lying now. He also then says, at Monster, we repurposed the funds reserved for 2 months of the center to buy Rag. Now the thing is, Nick, is you didn't say that the funds were reserved. What you actually said was the donations applied so far have bought us 2 full months of center, island, and ab. Also, Nick, I'm not understanding why you repurposed the money for 2 months of the center instead of actually using the money you still had left over even after buying 2 months for every other server for the Ragnarok. I did the math, and having 2 months of every other server besides Ragnarok, and then also purchasing 1 month of Ragnarok, it only comes out to $459.93. You still have $170 left over and some change. Now boys, this is one of the funniest ones I've found so far, and Nick said, I wanted to get all of the servers to 2 months. In fact, I was counting on it, but that is $940 total. This is actually quite funny. Nick, running your entire cluster for 2 months actually only cost $554.92. That's 2 months for Rag at 70 slots, 2 months for the center at 70 slots, 2 months for Aberration at 70 slots, and 2 months of Island at 50 slots. That doesn't even include Scorched Earth, with you never put out, even having so much extra money. He also then says that they are interpreting my typed out quote totally incorrectly and trying to call me a liar, when please guys, tell me if we are interpreting his typed out quote incorrectly, but he is actually a liar. He also goes on to say that you assumed that I had already spent the money to extend servers. No Nick, you literally said you bought 2 months for the servers. He also says, Monster, that was before we added Rag. You were posting something that is old and out of context. Nick, I did the math. You've seen the math. It's not out of context. And yes, it was before you added Rag, but you still had money to add Rag for 2 months, and even add Scorched Earth on as well. Gee, Nick, you're really doing me a favor by making this video so easy. Nick writes in his Discord, there is still some money left over in the Nitrado account. $500 donated instantly in there, which Nick, you made over $600, and you said that money was going to go towards the servers to upgrade and extend the servers. You then say that the servers are $400 per month, which they're not. You then say we extended AB a month and upgraded to 70. You upgraded to 70, which actually extended the AB servers. You didn't do 2 different things. It was only one action that was made, which he also said is 140-ish, which is about, give or take, $12 off, but I'll let it slide. Then he says there was never enough money to extend every server to 2 months. That was my goal. That would have been approximately $870. That amount was never reached. To run your servers for 2 months, it would cost $870. Look, dude, I'm in the 12th grade. You're way older than me, and maybe you forgot how to do math or something, but all I've been using this entire video was an iPhone calculator, and it's very simple. I'm actually not understanding at all where you have this $870 number from, because it's kind of specific. You're not just saying $800, you're not just saying $900, you're saying $870. So where the hell did you get that from? Now, one of the last messages I could actually read before I was banned by Nick was, at the end of the day, the too long didn't read is Nick got charged back, scammed, is broke now, and the Xbox servers are totally funded by the community with no help of Nick now. Nick, you of anybody should not be playing the broke route. Nick, let's also not forget, this wasn't the first time you were trying to play the broke card or saying you didn't have enough money to do something. Do you remember why Six actually made an exposed video on you? It was because somebody with a fraction of your subscribers at the time was paying him more money than you even paid him. Even after he set up your server, made many videos with you, and did everything else he did for you that you admitted in your response video.
Six was someone that recorded a lot with me in half of Season 2, all of Season 3, and all of Season 4. And Six was able to set up our first instance.
A YouTuber who wasn't even pulling a fraction of your views still managed to pay him $500 a month, while what you said you could do is pay him $250.
I gave Six $250 for not only recording with me and helping me with Nerd Parade videos.
Even in your response video, you talk about making a GoFundMe so that your subscribers could go and support Nick, because you, making thousands of dollars off of YouTube at this time, was not able to spare a tiny bit of money just so that Six could pay his rent and continue helping you with your servers, videos, and everything else he did for you.
I also put out a big shout out. It was kind of like a GoFundMe amongst Nerd Paraders, to where other Nerd Paraders donated to Six. Nerd Parader out there actually gave Six $50. $50, like straight up. So between me and him alone, he made $300.
I mean, Nick, do you actually want to see how stupid you look? In April 2017, Loverfella made 611,000 views. In April 2017, you made 2.81 million views. And yet Loverfella was still paying Six over $500 a month because when Six came to ask you for money, you offered to pay him half of that. How is this man supposed to pay for his rent, which is $500 a month, if all he's doing is helping you make content, run your server, set your servers up, and do anything else he did for you? And yet you're making thousands of dollars a month at this time, and you couldn't even give him $500 of all the money you generated off of him being in your videos. That's pathetic. You get more money from just your fans alone, from Patreon, donations, Twitch bits, or anything else than pretty much anybody else in the community does. Let's just look at your YouTube stats and just see how decent you do. This month, you've pulled 1.7 million views, and you've also gained 5,800 subscribers, which is really good. Also, let's look at this video. In this one 18-minute video, you put more ads than I do in 3 of my videos combined that can be 20 minutes or even 30 minutes long. Nick, we're both YouTubers, and we both know probably how much each other makes, and trust me, Nick, you're not doing that bad, dude. Taking away Nick's Patreon and any other sources of income, Nick could 100% live off just his YouTube income alone. Maybe not afford to pay for all the servers, but he definitely could survive off just the YouTube income. Okay, Nick, so next what we'll do is we'll actually go look at your Patreon. You have over 269 active Patreons. This means that 269 people give you money every single month they stay a Patreon to you. Your highest Patreon donation being a Lord, which is $100 a month, and the lowest being a $5 a month called a Nerd Parader. Now what I did is I actually went through Nerd Parade's Discord, and I literally went from top to bottom of the entire server list, and I copied every single person's name and every single rank that they had. I put them in a list of either if they had a Lord, Master, Savant, Knight, Acolyte, or Nerd Parader role, and I also even factored in subscribers for Twitch and also sponsors for YouTube. Now these numbers are not going to be 100% accurate, but keep in mind when I ended with this, I got 110 people. That's 110 people out of 269 of Nick's Patreons. Now what I found was there was 11 people with the Lord ranking, there was 26 people with the Master rank, there was 21 people with the Savant rank, there was 15 people with the Knight rank, there was 29 people with the Acolyte rank, and there was 8 people with the Nerd Parader rank. Now to add all of the money up from each of these people, it came out to actually $3,985 a month. After Patreon fees, that comes out to around $3,785 a month. Now keep in mind guys, that wasn't even half of Nick's Patreons. Now remember guys, this is the person who asked for a lot of support over and over again, even after receiving over $600 to start a server. He continuously asked for more and more donations and support from his fans, viewers, and Patreons. Let's take a real quick look at one of Nerd Parade's Patreon goals. So right here, he has a 100% completed goal, and it says reaching the goal will allow us to kick off the nerdparadegaming.com website and forums. Now let's actually go to this website and see how good it is. I mean, if you're making over $4,000 at least a month, I would expect at least a decent website and most likely hire somebody or do it yourself, but let's just check it out. Now when we come to this webpage, we are greeted with this page right here. It is the domain default page. It literally says web servers default page. This page is generated by Pless, the leading hosting automation software. You see this page because there is no website at this address. Wow. Oh, really? Okay. So, yeah. Nick, when's the website coming together, dude? I'm kind of waiting on that. Now, you know what? Let's go ahead and read one of the comments from one of Nick's Patreons. Now, this is back from October 22nd, 2017, and he says, how do I cancel Patreon status? He also replies to that by saying, I have canceled my patronage, Nick, as I found you can only beat down the people providing your content for so long. You used insider information to get access to our base, even though you stipulated it was against your rules. You also always put yourself in the best light at the cost of making your patrons look like idiots, even though you cheated and either waited till we logged off to offline raid us or used other admin abuse to make yourselves look better to create unfair advantages for yourself, when a good admin would have put their patrons first and made themselves have to work harder. So I hope you have learned not to bite the hand that feeds you, Nick. Business is cutthroat, and I hope you learn from your mistakes. Good luck. Also, somebody replies to this post and says that's why he has 4 people now on his server, and the server people are jumping ship to is 60 out of 60. Oh, and let's not forget to mention all of the money you pocketed from people donating to support your server.
I'm on paint on the face like I'm doodle bar. Jumping that pussy like I scuba dive. Boy, don't test your luck, could be the day that you finna